Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's been a long time since I have made any videos for this YouTube channel, and the one of the biggest reasons why that that is I found out I really just don't enjoy editing YouTube any videos. I don't enjoy editing videos and doing any picture stuff like this and design. I just really enjoy trading. So around I guess this was about 2 years ago when I had put this up. Sometime after doing all these videos, I just really I didn't enjoy it, and it wasn't very enjoyable. And I really just like the trading, so I just decided to start focusing on what I was doing before, which was trading versus trading and making YouTube videos. But obviously, I'm back at making YouTube videos. This YouTube channel is going to get a rebranding, and the whole "I have success" um, theme is going away, and it's going into fulltimetrader.me because right now it is uh, it is July 3rd. We're going into the 4th of July weekend, and I'm calculating by the latest this coming September, I'm just trading full time. I think August is actually going to be the beginning date, so maybe the latest would be September. I was looking at starting July 5th, which would be you know independence, financial independence for me. However, I'm still just bringing in some outside money, so I don't have to be living off a trading account. And obviously, it's not this trading account because I don't do simulated living. I do real living. So I wouldn't be able to pay real bills with simulated dollars. But I'm in Hawaii, and I will be relocating to the Eastern Standard Time Zone. And as I mentioned, I'm targeting August. I was targeting September, but I think I can move it up to August. So I think maybe July. I'll work through the end of July at this place where I'm working. So I'm attempting to fund the move without using money from my trading account. And yeah, a lot of little logistical things. After 25 years of living in the Aloha State, uh, I've got about 25 years worth of life stuff to move over. But to be honest with you, I am a material minimalist, so I really don't have that much stuff. I've shipped over almost my entire library already, which was about like 70 pounds of books. I still have some other ones over here, but I'm paying for weight, so I know one box was 60 pounds, and the other box was maybe I don't know what it was. So let's just take a guess. But here, how am I achieving this? A lot of it, of course, is done by trading, and I think one of the pitfalls that when people are looking to fund their lifestyle by trading for a living, being a full time trader, I think one of the pitfalls is that the first place people start looking is the the trading platform, and actually, from I think the first place to start looking, which gave me a great advantage, is your expenses. Because really, if you want to be full-time trading, you have to you have to earn more money from trading than you're spending to maintain your lifestyle. So if you have no clue what that number is, then you really it's hard to win a game that you're not keeping score. And what if you can lower that number? So the part of what really helped me is that several years ago, from playing the cash flow board game over and over and over, and also sometimes or a lot of playing it online, but just playing this game, I really started learning that the whole financial statement, income, expenses, assets, liability, and I started tracking all my expenses, and to the point that I think it's fair for me to say I know to the penny and roughly what day that any transaction is happening, any bill is due, roughly to the day. Sometimes my HECO, Hawaiian Electric Company, sometimes that is a little bit off. Like instead of being on the 14th, it might withdraw on the 16th. And seems like sometimes my current car insurance, Progressive, seems like they're a little 1 or 2 days off. But for the most part, I know every single day and how much of whatever bill is coming out, just because I've been tracking this stuff for years and working on, lowering my monthly bills just to make it easier to eventually not have to work for a living and be able to be financially independent. Which for a while I was. I had a retail business in the Pearl Ridge Shopping Center that unfortunately I made some novice business mistakes and crashed, and that was a super big learning experience. And the real the when I was making all the money and having the success, the there was learning going on, but the real hardcore change my soul learning happened after Octoberish of 2015, when everything was like a disaster. And then I limped that business along until January 2017. And from that time, October 2015 to January 2017, man, I really really learned a lot, and figured different ways, or started considering different ways to reconstruct my life. Which here we are, from 2017 to 2025. You could say I'm a slow learner, and I'm not going to argue with you on that. But nonetheless, here I am. I'm getting ready to end 2025 and begin 2026 with being able to support my lifestyle without needing a job again. So how so that's the first place that I really got good at, is figuring out what my monthly expenses were and figuring out ways to lower those monthly expenses. If you say things like, well, I can't do that because I have kids, everybody's situation is harder. It is easier for me because I don't have children, I'm not married, and I only I will not date women that are going to be a thorn in my side with this with achieving my full-time trader status. So, if there's some girl that she loves these fancy restaurants and stuff like this, then she's going to be going out with someone else, and I honestly don't care, because for me personally, there's no woman on earth that's more valuable than achieving this. And then that's just how I'm choosing to do it. So I'm keeping looking at what are your monthly bills, how can you lower them, and figuring out what is it? What is it that you need to generate on a reoccurring basis, monthly and then annually? And then once you have those numbers down and you can work on whittling them down, then the next thing is figuring out how to provide those dollar amounts in those time frames from the stock market. Luckily, there's multiple ways to generate income from the stock market. So probably around 2013, no, excuse me, 2023. I think was it 2023? I can't quite remember if it was 2023 or 2024. I went to a seminar. It was actually a relationship seminar, even though I wasn't really in a relationship. It was like, for married couples, but I went anyways. Why? Because I'm the type of guy that goes to seminars. That's why. If I have an opportunity to go to a seminar and it seems like it's gonna somehow add some value to my life, and then I'm going. You might not go. You might be the kind of person that likes to play video games and watch TV and watch movies, and that's good. You do you. I'll do me. I went to this seminar, And flying back from California to Oahu, and actually, I, around this time, I was also doing the John McGregor, one of these John McGregor courses, and so having been through this course on relationships, which even though I might not have been in a romantic relationship at that time, a relationship that I was in and still am in is a relationship with myself. So having gone through that course and doing the John McGregor work on the way back, this big epiphany hit for me that dividends. I was already building a dividend portfolio, but I was building this dividend portfolio, and at the same time, I was, I believe around that time, selling a lot of options on WTI crude oil futures, and then TD Ameritrade sold the Thinkorswim platform, or I don't know if it was just a platform, sold their business, whatever. Charles Schwab ended up taking over Thinkorswim and basically having control of my account, and they changed the margin on futures, and it sort of threw my game off. So all these things kind of came together going through that class, the change of ownership of Thinkorswim, and also the doing that John McGregor course, and it just so much dawned on me that every every month, every month, and once a quarter for certain stocks, but every month I had a not a very sizable monthly dividend portfolio at that time, but I had money coming in every month from dividends, and it just really was dawning on me of like, all this time and energy I spend on doing selling options on oil futures, and the amount of effort that it takes, and all these different things, which basically I was kind of doing the wheel strategy on oil futures. So if I was assigned a contract and I'm selling a covered call to get out of it, but it's tricky because of the margin, and because of the you're basically selling options which have a limited lifespan on a futures contract which has a limited lifespan. So there's more complications to it. But all that energy going into it, and I'm like, these dividends keep coming in with zero effort. So at some time, I guess it was maybe around 2024. I can't quite remember, but I just really put a massive amount of effort into building this dividend portfolio. Then once I had the dividend portfolio built up to be covering roughly about 50% of my monthly expenses, then I just really kind of started realizing like that's a game changer for me. And since I had done such a good job at lowering my monthly expenses over the years, having 50% covered of a low number means that I have the other 50% is kind of a low number. And so then 2025, around February, I parted ways with a company I was working at, and took some time to see how much could I really just fund my lifestyle from trading to have the trading make up the other 50%. And the answer was yes. It was without a doubt, the answer was yes. Now granted, I live in the eastern I don't live in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. I live in the Hawaiian Standard Time Zone. The stock market is basically trading on the Eastern Standard Time Zone. I get it, maybe the options market is on the Central Standard Time, but for my just general thinking, like Eastern Standard Time versus Hawaiian Standard Time. So I started waking up 4:15 to take a shower and try to be alert by 4:30 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time, when the stock market is opening in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. And then when daylight savings time happened, then now I'm waking up at 3:15 a.m. because Hawaii doesn't have a daylight savings time. So whenever the mainland changes, we just stay the same. So that means now I'm waking up an hour earlier. And even today, Thursday, I had a position on I had a a position on SPX, short credit spreads on SPX. So instead of just doing a 0 DTE, I did like a, oh, 1 day, I guess, because of zero is the same day, one. It seems like the math is a little bit off on that because it's like basically 2 days. It was Wednesday and Thursday. But anyways, um, so they were kind of close to the money, and I just, if they really needed to be adjusted, I wanted to be awake and alert and ready to adjust them. So this morning, I'm up at 3:15, and then it's like until like 10 or 11, maybe 12, like I'm just so lethargic, sleeping a lot. I didn't even stay awake for the entire time once I had everything set up. So my point of this little story is like, yes, I can fund my entire lifestyle off of it, but I do not like waking up at 3:15 or 4:15 in the morning. I like sleeping until about 6 a.m., 6:30. I like to go to bed maybe around 9, 10, somewhere in there, and wake up without an alarm clock around 6, 6:30. That's my natural thing that I feel really good. And if I do that day after day after day, I have a lot of energy. I'm in a great mood. Everything feels good. So when I took in February, when I took this time to um, see how, if I could fund my whole lifestyle from trading, I realized it was yes, but I had to wake up. Without I could make up that 50% difference through trading, but I needed to be very active day trading. I guess you could say like aggressive swing trading, whatever. Like these whole time frames of what it is. It's scalping, it's day trading, it's swing trading, it's position trading. You can debate it with someone else. I don't really want to get into semantics of that. The fact is, like, regardless if it's a swing trade, a scalp, or a day trade, if I can take that money and fill up my gas tank with it, I don't care what type of trade it was. If I can take that money and pay my electric bill, I don't care if it was a day trade or a scalp or a swing trade. I just want the money to be able to pay my bills, so I don't have to go to a job that I don't particularly want to go to. And it's not just going to a job. It's what does my mind have to think about? I personally want my mind only thinking about the markets because I really enjoy it. Some people, they like to play video games. I feel like the stock market and the options market, the futures market, whatever, these financial markets, kind of like a video game. It's on a screen. I'm clicking buttons. I'm looking at information. I'm making choices. And the information can be never ending. I have no desire to watch a movie when I'm trying to keep up with the news and all the stuff, and I don't feel like it's work. I feel like it's a game. It's fun. I enjoy it. So I don't want to think about anything else other than this. So I decided, around February, maybe it was by March, I just realized like I should move to the mainland. I should move to the Eastern Standard Time Zone. I've been in Hawaii for 25 years. I've always believed that if I lived in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, I felt like I could fund my lifestyle through trading when I didn't have to wake up really early. And I just validated that to myself in February because I'm waking up really early. I'm in front of the computer. I'm actively trading in the market between the dividends and the option trading and whatever else trading. I'm funding my lifestyle while I'm still growing my dividend portfolio. So I made this decision to move and I started putting things in place. But I felt at the time when I made this decision, I felt like it would be wisest to work at a job so that way I didn't have to take money out of my trading account and I could still wake up early in the morning if I wanted to and continue to trade. If I could find a job that started later and sort of ended later, so that way I could be trading in the morning, and then from this job use that job to pay to ship things over, all these different things that I would need to do. Like for example, I decided instead of shipping my car over, I was going to sell my car. So whether I ship my car over or sell my car over, I needed to. I thought that it would be best and easiest if I paid off my car loan, which was getting pretty close. So instead of taking money out of my trading account to pay off the car loan, I worked at this job and took money from that and paid off the car loan. And this different things that I've shipped over there, and I've got a few more things to be shipping over and buying the plane ticket, this type of stuff. So that way, when I actually get to the Eastern Standard Time Zone, I'm doing it with as much money in my trading account. Now, one of my associates had said, "Well, if you weren't working, you could just be trading, and then maybe you'd be making more money because you just focus on the market." And that's a valid that is a valid debate. For him to bring that up, I see the validity behind it. And for me, I was thinking that yeah, you have a good point, and it's a maybe. It's a maybe. And I'm so close to having having the full-time trader status. I'm so close to having it happen that if I know for a fact I can make this happen, especially by moving, that I don't want to take any chance of something going off. Because something going, what do I mean by something going off? Like, let's say for example my car broke down. Then all of a sudden, that really kind of throws a monkey wrench into it. Now I got to get my car fixed, and I'm definitely using money out of my trading account. What if this, that, or the other thing happened? I didn't really want to take any chance of needing to make a big withdrawal or any withdrawal really out of my trading account to fund something when I could have money coming in from outside of the trading account. And I get it, it would probably slow things down a little bit, but I felt like I would rather be the tortoise than the hare in this situation, because whether it took me, when we're looking at February, whether it took me 4 months, 6 months, or 8 months, I was seeing in my mind that 2026 will not be in Hawaii. 2026 will be in an Eastern Standard Time Zone state, maybe even before, and I would just be trading for a living. So instead of taking any chance of having that plan not come to fruition or slow it down, figured, you know what, just work and bring in money from the outside. So that's what I've been doing. And I've got this pulled up here. So what have I been trading? I've been doing kind of a mix of things, and there's not like one particular strategy I stick with. Uh, Other than, I guess, if you want to consider this a strategy, like I look at my buying power and my stock buying power and my cash. Now again, this is a simulated trading account, and I'm just not going to pull up my real trading account for YouTube videos. But regardless, right? If I look at these numbers and I'm balancing these numbers, and what I mean by balancing these numbers, so even though this is a simulated trading account, these are mainly the stocks that I'm trading. Mainly, there are some other ones too, but let's take a look. So SPY, it overall, if you're familiar with beta, like do you know what beta is? Let's take a look at um, what do we got? What is in here? Yes. Let's put ExxonMobil right here, beta. So beta, let's see if it has a definition here for us. No. Beta is basically how much does this particular stock move in relation to the S&P 500. So ExxonMobil's got a beta of like 0.49, meaning that it's not going to move very much in relationship to the S&P 500. Now let's take a look at this beta of 2.5. It's so if the S&P 500 moves up $1, this in theory should move up about $2.50. Maybe that is not, the most theoretical accurate definition that a scholar is going to agree with, and maybe they're going to debate me and all this stuff, and that's fine. Whatever the official definition is, I don't care. But the fact is the higher the beta, the more whatever the underlying stock. Right here's that ASTS, and here's ExxonMobil. So when the S&P 500 goes up $1, this is going to move about 50 cents theoretically, and then this is going to move about $2.50. So having an idea of what's going on with the S&P 500, and sometimes I'm just selling options on SPY. So I've got that there. The VIX volatility index. People like to poo-poo it, and they like to say that, well, this has changed and that's changed, and yes, things have changed. That's right. Things are not the same as they were in the 1980s. You're absolutely right. Some things have are not the same as they were 30, 40, 10, whatever. Not things are not even the same from a million years ago. Things changed. The way they were a million years ago, the way they are today, they changed. But some things have kind of stayed the same. Gravity, it's still around. A million years ago, I'm guessing it was there. I wasn't around a million years ago, so I'm assuming it was there. It's still here today. It was here 10 years ago. And guess what? The VIX, no matter if things changed or not, when the VIX is up here, in fact, let's go out a little bit. When the VIX was up here around 60, regardless if things have changed or not, the option premium on any of these stocks you see here was better. So having an idea, for me, being a net option seller, with when it comes to the VIX, when the VIX is high, sell premium. Specifically, maybe you want to be a little more strategic of asking what type of premium. If the VIX is high, what exact premium should a person be selling? And yeah, so that's if you don't know, maybe you should try to figure that out. But having an idea of what's going on with the VIX, right? This is a good gauge of the market. Generally speaking, as the um as the S&P 500 goes up, the VIX goes down, and vice versa. But look at this. There's a range, right? So at the beginning of the day, it's starting here, trading is high up to here. So let's say you want to sell a put option on Apple. You want to get paid a certain price for it. Well, if the VIX moves up a certain amount, how much would that reflect in how much you're getting paid? In fact, when you want to close the position, which sometimes this is what I'll do on leap options, I like to sell them and just open and close, basically day trading open and close leap options, because the premium is fluctuating just throughout the day. And um, on the VIX, right? The other one is Apple. Okay, so I'm selling I'm selling options on this, and overall on Apple, I'm not attempting to take ownership of Apple. So while in a way I'm not I if you want to say that I'm selling naked options on Apple, I could understand why you'd say that. However, um and in a way that's the way I feel that I'm doing it. But I have stock buying power, right? Yes, it's margin, but it gives me this buffer that it's not completely naked. Like I could fulfill that commitment. Then what I need to be mindful of is where to go is how much stock buying power do I have, and how many contracts do I have all throughout the market? What if they came due all at the same time? Do I have enough margin to cover everything? And Apple is one of them that I kind of look at that way, because I really don't want to have ownership of Apple when I could have ownership of Walmart, Clorox, what is this? Colgate Palmolive. Who is this? I don't know what stock this is, but whatever it is, it's been increasing dividends for the last 50 years. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on here. Hormel Foods, Procter and Gamble, Procter and Gamble, Johnson and Johnson, Altria, Coca-Cola. Tesla's another one that I'm basically in my viewpoint just selling naked options on. However, again, like I have that buffer of protection the margin. ASTS and SMCI, just like high volatility stocks that I've been having a lot of fun with selling options on, and sometimes doing the wheel strategy on, but they're not really dividend stocks. So basically, one thing that I've consistently been doing is, so in some cases I'm selling naked options on certain stocks. In other cases I'm selling cash secured put options on certain stocks. Sometimes I'm doing uh, strangles. Sometimes I'm just doing just selling a call or just selling a put or multiple calls or puts. But it's all keeping these numbers in balance. It's all focused on what's the option buying power, what's the stock buying power, how much cash do I have, and balancing these things out. So if for some reason everything got called due at one time, what's my situation going to be like? Now, what's the probability of everything getting called due at one time? Probably pretty low, probably. But trading, what one thing that I've been one thing that I've been focusing on that seems to be leading me to a degree of success is trading as a lot of probabilities. So let's say if the probability of everything being called due at one time is pretty low, but if it's at least 1% chance, should I factor a black swan in and trade in a way that my worst case scenario, if that came true, what would my account look like after that? Now, again, you don't have to do this. You can do whatever you want, and obviously you will do whatever you want, including type comments in here that may or may not be in alignment with the way that I do things. It's all good, and personally, if you're that type of person, like I would save your energy and focus on looking at your numbers versus taking the time to like debate what I'm doing or create your own YouTube channel. I notice on YouTube, seems like a lot of people love putting, typing comments, consistent comment typers. Maybe it'd be good to be a content producer or somehow producing something other than a comment. That's my thought. Anyways, so that's what's going on. The content on this YouTube channel is going to change. Even though I don't like making videos, the reality of my situation is I really don't have a lot of people to talk to about trading. And I really, really, really desire some sort of social interaction. I consistently go to different trading courses online and like network with people because I really crave the conversation and learning different angles. And I know you might say, well, you just said, don't leave those comments and or whatever. Yeah, I did because it really doesn't take much to throw out a comment, and there's really not a lot of context behind the comment, and like put more effort into it, make your own YouTube video, or show up to these classes that I go to. We can network that way. But nonetheless, this is what's going on. So be making a change, and I'm excited about it. Maybe it's obvious, maybe not. And what will be the point of all this? the The point is probably going to be more than one point. So at some point in the future, I will be having some courses, and I want to address the question now of if you're making so much money trading, why sell a course? And the for me, I can't speak for other people. Some people really don't make any money trading, and so the only way they make money is by creating a course. But for me personally, creating a course will fit a few things. Number one is I want more money. I really do. I really want more money. I want more money coming in from a different angle. And so if I can create a business that is external to trading but allows me to talk about trading and think about trading and keeps my mind sharp on trading, then I think that's pretty good. I think that's great stimulation for me. Number two is the stimulation. There is a certain amount of like a puzzle or complexity to creating a business and figuring out how to create value for other people, in exchange for money. So what is going to be the value proposition? How is it going to be different than anything that's already out there? So there's that component of it. There's another component of it that I don't have as much now in my like midlife versus when I was, much younger, like basically 20 years ago or maybe even less than that. Uh but I do have some desire to help other people. And I think this is a somewhat of an honorable way to help other people. One YouTube channel I like to watch is, I think it's called Bull Boom Bear Bust. And it's kind of like a financial news, but not mainstream news. And lately, he has been playing a lot of clips of people like talking about how they're having a hard time. They can't afford life and this type of thing. So, if for some people I can help alleviate some of that pressure with, under the whole definition of Robert Kiyosaki's teacher, being a real teacher, doing what I actually do, not being one of these CoffeeZilla CoffeeZilla showcase people that it's just like fraudulent trading and a bunch of craziness. Because for me personally, if I had to choose one, I'm just going to choose a trading. But the reality is, I don't have to just choose one. I can I can do more than one. So these are the mainly, I guess, like three reasons that are coming to mind of why create a course or multiple courses when I have money coming in from trading. But one course that I will be making is the Infinite ROI course, which is basically like, an ROI is basically you look at how much money did you receive or do you receive annually from this investment and divide it by how much money it costs to buy it. Well, if you put no money into it, then your ROI isn't zero. It's actually infinite. You're pulling money out. And this is something that if you're also learned from the Rich Dad Company, you already know that. But how can you do it in the stock market? Well, actually, there are maybe more than one way to do it, but I have I've been doing it in a way where I don't need any certain special licensing. I don't have to I don't have to uh, break any laws, or it's not like running a hedge fund. It's something that anyone can do, and so that's something I'll put together. And basically, a real beginner, somewhat beginners, can do it. Also, I've got a few different friends here that live on the island at the moment that know I've been trading for a long time, and to some degree, I've had influence on them to push them towards some of them. One person in particular, I've literally kind of pushed her towards it. Kept, hey, you can do this. Look at this. Look at that. Basically, showing her how what's your monthly phone bill? What's your annual car registration? Look at this. Look at the stock. Look how much dividend it pays annually. How many shares of this do you need in order to cover your car registration, that you know what month it's coming in, and you know basically what price it's going to be. And yeah, sometimes the state of Hawaii raises that amount. So maybe you acquire shares on stocks that have a consistent track record of raising their dividend every year for the last 50 years to try to help keep up with these different inflationary things. And I have another buddy that I didn't have to push this guy towards it at all, other than like, dude, stop talking about it and start doing it. Like, you've been talking about it for 5 years. If you would have just been paper trading for 5 years, you would know a lot of this stuff already. So anyways, I got a variety of people that I'm in my associates or acquaintance circle, friend circle, whatever a proper term is, that I'll give them free access to it in relationship in like, they give me feedback. They can write some testimonials and that type of thing, and so I can help out my friends, help out people that I don't know, get to talk about the stock market, and just have another source of income coming in that that will be able to fund other things. So No structure on how this is going to happen. I don't really know, other than I would like to make some videos where people are seeing me in Hawaii before I leave, so that way you can see the stark contrast and know that it's not some BS, that I'm actually going to be going from living on a tropical island to the middle of the woods in the Midwest. So with that, see you guys later.